All right, first off, let's dig in. We're going to go to... Let's dig in and take a look at the war table. So a little bit of story, a little bit of sense of interactions with those characters. Yeah. Now the specialists, that's what we generally have referred to them internally. You may call them whatever you want, your ambassador, your spy master, and your general.
Yep.
In order, that's Josephine, Liliana, and Cullen.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of when you meet them.
That's right. Yeah, this is a little bit after the prologue, when you're coming in and you meet Cassandra and you talk to Cassandra a little bit, and you go into the war table for the first time, and they talk about the current state of affairs.
Yeah, we won't spoil too much, but we'll
hopefully not. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So as you guys can see, we've got our PCUI up and running here. We'll go into some more details on that mini map down here. Obviously, mouse look, all that fun stuff. We're going to kick things off though by right-clicking.
Yeah, I think we won't talk actually, because people don't like us talking when other characters are talking.
All too fair.
Careful with the table as well, guys. It's making a lot of booms into the microphone.
All right, can you get rid of that keyboard shot?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Does it trouble you?
Now we can probably talk here. This gives us a look at the reaction wheel. So in the course of regular dialogue, your wheel would have no major icons. There's just kind of a generic choice icon that appears in the middle. However, when you're giving an answer that's more emotional, that you want to say, I'm good, I'm angry, I'm stoic, I'm confused, or I'm sad.
Yes. Now there is an option to turn those off as well.
You can, absolutely, yeah. All versions of the game, you can say, I don't want any icons. I just want to play with just the paraphrases. As well, for PC, you'll notice numbers. If I want to just quick key to make a selection, I can do so. Let's be tough, Lady Elf.
Not really.
What's important is that your mark is now stable, as is the breach. You've given us time. And Solas believes a second attempt might succeed, provided the mark has more power. The same level of power used to open the breach in the first place. That is not easy to come by.
What harm could there be in powering up something we barely understand?
Hold on to that sense of humor. May I present Commander Cullen, leader of the Inquisition's forces.
Such as they are. We lost many soldiers in the valley, and I fear many more before this is through.
This is Lady Josephine Montelier, our ambassador and chief diplomat.
Anderan Atishan. You speak Elven?
You just heard the entirety of it, I'm afraid.
And of course you know Sister Liliana.
My position here involves a degree of...
She is our spy master.
Yes, tactfully put, Cassandra.
I don't know about you, Cam, but I could almost hear the squee when Cullen
I was just
talking.
thinking about Cullen and everyone,
So here, as I said, more generic icons. So again, not really conveying an emotion, more just a chance to discuss.
Yeah.
Pleased to meet you all.
I mentioned that your mark needs more power to close the breach for good.
Which means we must approach the rebel mages for help.
And I still disagree. The Templars could serve just as well.
We need power, Commander. Enough magic poured into that mark.
Might destroy us all. Templars could suppress the breach, weaken it, so...
Pure speculation.
I was a Templar. I know what they're capable of.
Unfortunately, neither group will even speak to us yet. The Chantry has denounced the Inquisition, and you specifically.
Ooh, denounced by the Chantry.
Yeah.
Politics.
I know, right?
Politics.
So what are we going to pick?
I don't know. Cameron, your call. I've been picking.
Well, does it really matter?
Doesn't matter. Let's find out.
Can't you simply ignore them? If only that were possible.
Some are calling you, a Dalish elf, the Herald of Andraste. That frightens the Chantry. The remaining clerics have declared it blasphemy, and we, heretics, for harboring you.
Chancellor Roderick's doing, no
There's
doubt.
some mad love from the
It
community
limits our
for all
options.
of our characters.
Approaching the Major's
That's
old
nice,
Templars for help is currently out of the question.
So this one I want to pursue. We've done investigates before,
Yep.
being able to dig in. The question mark gives you a chance to kind of explore a concept a little further.
Just how am I the Herald of Andraste?
People saw what you did at the temple, how you stopped the breach from growing. They have also heard about the woman seen in the rift when we first found you. They believe that was Andraste.
Even if we tried to stop that view from spreading.
Which we have not.
The point is, everyone is talking about you.
It's quite the title, isn't it? How do you feel about that?
Now this one I wanted to hit specifically because we haven't talked about it in a while, but some folks were asking us, well, what if I'm an elf? What if I'm
oh yes
a Canary?
Yeah.
I don't want to be a herald of anything. Yeah. And here's the thing.
So before you do that,
we wanted to give you a chance to respond to that.
Exactly, and I think it's worth noting that we get the question a lot about Dragon Age Origins had the origin stories, right?
Yep.
But what that did is it front loaded a lot of that race and specific content right at the beginning, and it didn't leave a lot of room throughout the rest of the game. So what we did in Inquisition was we spread that content out over the course of the entire game, so it's more meaningful for the whole campaign, the whole story, your whole experience in the world.
Yeah, absolutely, and having it keep coming up. And so this is as well another thing the writing team made kind of a personal goal is they wanted to have more moments where characters kind of stopped and looked at you and said, so how do you feel?
Yeah.
What do you think? So, supposing you're playing through as a Dalish elf, you're probably not super into the Chantry right now, and you're going to say, well, I'm not the herald of anything.
I'm no herald of anything, particularly not Andraste.
I'm sure the Chantry would agree.
People are desperate for a sign of hope. For some, you're that sign. And to others, a symbol of everything that's gone wrong.
Will the Chantry attack us?
With what? They have only words at their disposal.
And yet, they may bury us with them. There is something you can do. A Chantry cleric by the name of Mother Giselle has asked to speak to you. She is not far, and knows those involved far better than I. Her assistance could be invaluable.
Now, for those of you who are wondering, how the heck do we end up going to the hinterlands? Well, this is why.
Yeah.
I'll see what she has to say.
You will find Mother Giselle tending to the wounded in the hinterlands near Redcliffe.
Look for other opportunities to expand the Inquisition's influence while you're there.
We need agents to extend our reach beyond this valley, and you're better suited than anyone to recruit them.
In the meantime, let's think of other options. I won't leave this all to the Herald.
The war table.
The war table.
So the war table is the means by which you direct your Inquisition forces throughout the world. So you lead this big, powerful organization which you build up over time using the war table. So there's two countries, Ferelden and Olay. And in this case, this is the first time, obviously, that the player would experience the war table. So there's just one option on here, but we might jump in.
We'll show a little more.
We'll show a little bit more. But Mike, do you want to show us how you would actually sort of navigate around the war table a little bit?
Absolutely. So the war table, when you make your choice of country, takes you into kind of a focus area in that country. You'd be driving a cursor around if you're playing on console, but of course mouse users, boop, 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 mouse. Very easy. You don't have to make the boop sound. I just like doing it. So this at this point is the basically the war table tutorial, how it looks. Fun note, upper right corner, that box there, that's the Inquisitor Edition box.
Oh, is
That's
it
what
really?
it looks like. Yeah, if you actually have pre-ordered the Inquisitor's
That's
edition,
right.
sadly sold out due to ridiculous manufacturing.
Yes.
And if you want to hear Mark Dara go crazy,
oh my god, it's just packaging porn.
we were at the Edmonton Expo, and someone asked a packaging question,
and
Mark
it was like 15 minutes.
entered a fugue state for 15 minutes and went off about the Inquisitor edition. Anyway, back to the game. Anyway, that's a box. So scouting the hinterlands, when we go through, it'll take you through, give you a sense of what kind of action or adventure is about to occur, and then you make your choice. Now, in this case, we only have our scouts involved in this mission, and you notice it has a power cost of 1.
Yes.
Which is the currency by which the Inquisition grows. Every time you open up a new area, if you pursue a major objective, you spend power, and the war table, as we've said, is how you do that.
That's right, and you earn power by exploring the world, completing quests, closing fade rifts, doing things that would strengthen an Inquisition.
Yeah, your reputation, helping people, all these things. So again, when we click in here, we're going to spend this power, confirm the cost, and away we go. Scout arting.
Yeah, so awesome. little package of murder.
She's so nice too.
Yeah. So this is the village of the Crossroads in Hinterlands.
It's not even really an official village.
No.
Just a place where people have holed up trying to avoid the fighting between mages and Templars. You
Yep.
notice that that's been a pretty major theme of discussion so far, but it's not the only theme that we pursue throughout the
Definitely not.
game. In fact, it's a fairly early
Yep.
kind of situation. And as we showed at E3, it's one that you're going to eventually bring to a head.
Yes, which is pretty cool. So then you get an after action report,
Yep.
which you can read through as well. And this is indicative of how you would open up all the different exploration areas throughout the game. You know, we've got a number of these really vast areas for you to go and explore. But you do so by sending out your scouts to get a foothold, and then you can sort of travel through. And they're not really, there's a couple that are sort of locked to plots and stuff like that in terms of the timing.
Yep.
But for the most part, you're free to unlock these areas as you will, as long as you have enough power and strength of the Inquisition.
Exactly. So go out and explore the world, play the game, come back, spend power on the war table. But that's not the only thing you can do. So we could immediately go to the hinterlands. Whenever you unlock a new area, it lets you kind of quick travel there if you want. I'm going to say no. And I'll show you why, because I'm going to show missions. So operations are sending your troops out, spending power. Missions are the time-related things. These are the behind-the-scenes small objectives that are tied to the Inquisition's growth. So when we come to the war table here, you'll now notice that I don't think it went any open or late.
No, at this point it's mostly in for Elven.
Yeah. So we dig in and some different options.
I love that Hard and Hightown, Barrack Lovers.
Yeah.
Right on that.
And actually I'll take a look at three different ones. So let's start with one here. Gathering coin. So this is not the most intense of missions.
No, but it's a great way to show that you can use your Inquisition to do things for you, right?
Yeah, it can be repeated. You can send people out. And when you have your different specialists, you have Colin, Lillian, Josephine coordinating your efforts. Each of them requires time. Josephine's actually a little bit better at gathering coins, so she's a little faster than the others. That's kind of her specialty is commerce and trade. However, you may want to use Josephine for another operation another mission. And if
so
you
once you pick one, then they're locked for that time.
They're locked for that time. So this will take an hour. It's going to come back. It's not a huge gain in coins, so this isn't the most optimal thing we can do, but even if you've run out of other stuff, there are some repeatable missions. One of my other favorites is actually gathering resources.
Yes. Now, there is no MTX
to
speed that up.
No, there isn't.
Why the could we do that?
No.
So no.
So we got
don't worry about that.
Guys.
Sure.
We're wondering about subtitles. If they'll be region locked, will you be able to edit them for multiple regions?
What do you mean region locked?
So I imagine that in Germany they were trying to load German subtitles and it was English.
So I can't speak to the exact specifics on a per SKU basis, per release basis, but you will have your choice of language for subtitles. You will be able to turn them on, turn them off. You can also turn them on so that they are conversation only, not ambient. So there's a bunch of different settings for those. Sorry, I don't know the specifics on exactly how German handles it, but we've done our best to make sure that subtitles are available across the different platforms. So I've seen people play with German subtitles and English VO from one instance.
So there's different icons on the website as well, right? There's the little Inquisition pin, which you just used, right? For gathering coin. And then there's like the diamond ones.
Yeah, these are a completed scout. And again, if you want to see that briefing again, you can absolutely do so, or fast travel to that location again, which can help if you're like, oh, I just wanted to update my things and then go right back out to the field. Here, we have some soldiers missing in Ferelden. Now, for people who followed along Gamescom,
they would notice that. Exactly. So the demo we put together was
that's
in the fellow layout. That's this mission,
That's where you go, because your soldiers are missing, and they have RF taken them. And if you arrive on that one, you meet Scout Harding. She says, hey, boss, here's what's going on, and so on. So we can look at this one. It's kind of fun. So many of your companions and followers have their own kind of sense of what they could do. And this one offers a more interesting choice. So Josephine could have a friend in Antiva City. Liliana could send her spies, right? So that one's quite useful. We'll go with Josephine on this one. She requires time. We'll confirm. Now this changes it to be the symbol for the ambassadorial.
Yes, and you can see Josephine's card is then later underneath as well, which is neat. So.
And we'll look at one more. Now this one's kind of fun because it's actually tied to your background.
Okay.
You're an elf, and you'll notice through here that Clan Lavelin is somewhat concerned because one of the clan is being held captive by the Inquisition, and they're somewhat worried about that.
Okay.
So each of the different races has their own background. If you're a mage, you also have your own background. Or a human mage specifically.
Yep.
So each of those have a series of operations tied to their background as well.
Now there's over 300
There are.
operations and missions on the war table. And as Mike said, which ones you're going to see of those 300 will differ depending on the types of character you are, what decisions you've been making throughout the game as well.
You cannot see them all
No.
in a single playthrough. For instance, the race stuff
Yep.
is a great example. So Josephine's busy. We're going to send out Liliana,
Okay.
and she'll
Let's see
proceed.
what we have.
All right, so that gives us a nice war table overview.
I loved how Cullen wasn't willing to go to the Hightown.
It's just not his
It's
thing.
just not his thing, is it? No.
He has people that punch stuff, right? He doesn't really investigate authors.
Yeah.
There is one of my favorite operations. There's a character who asks for specific help, and it's pretty flippant.
Yep.
And Josephine says, I absolutely could do this. And Liliana says, I suppose I could spend spies. And Cullen's suggested as the advisor is simply, no, this is silly.
Yeah.
He'll do it.
Yeah.
But
he's
no,
not
he
happy.
does not
Yeah.
want to do it.
Yeah. So Inquisition talents.
Yeah,
Let's
this
talk about that.
is the last thing. So we talked about the Inquisition as a character you level up, and
Yes.
like your character where you gain in talents and buy in the trees, you actually have different options available as you go through and upgrade your Inquisition.
Yep.
You receive perks as the Inquisition grows in power, and each one comes with a set that you can purchase into.
Yep. Now, just stop there. I just want to go back up. So, as you scroll down through some of these options, you can see that there's different requirements. So, some of them have the requirement to have spent invested in this particular talent tree. Other ones would be like you need to have captured a keep, or you need to have recruited a particular agent into the Inquisition. So, they're characters that you meet throughout the world that you can bring in as long as you sort of fulfill their requirements. And so, there's a lot of different again, connections and ways to sort of tailor your Inquisition depending on what you've been doing throughout the world.
Absolutely. And in fact, one of the ways you can get those prerequisites is that there are agents you can recruit.
Yep.
And they're added to that pool. So each agent is like an investment as well, allowing you to dig a little further in. All right. That concludes the administrative adventures of our Elven Warrioress.
That's right. Are we going to go and punch?
All right.